Hey guys, it's Riley here, and today we'll do what if female Deku had Scarlet Witch's powers. So let's begin. Let's just start when they were. So after the Heroes versus Villains, they were going to the USJ. Most of the students thought they were going to the Universal Studios Japan, which wasn't really the case actually. They're going for some rescue training. They're going to have some rescue training, so they will know how to rescue people in different scenarios or whatsoever. They got into the bus in their hero costumes or their PE uniforms. And so Izumi's hero costume is just like the one in the thumbnail. She has a red jacket and a black dress. Also some arm guards, to be honest. So yeah, that's her hero costume. That's basically Scarlet Witch's outfit from Avengers Age of Ultron. So yeah. Their classmates were talking about their quirks and such, and Suyu then says, if we're talking about powerful quirks, then it must be Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki. The classmates agreed, and some were wondering what was Midoriya's quirk. Someone then questioned Midoriya. Hey Midoriya-san, what's your quirk? Midoriya then replied with, it's called Chaos Magic. I basically have a lot of abilities, but it's not really a lot, but a few abilities, yeah. A few abilities, just that. What abilities, Midoriya-san? Asked Asui. Well, it's not much, really. I have telekinesis, I have energy manipulation, and I could also read minds, and I could just give you never-ending nightmares, I guess. Midoriya mumbled the last part because she wasn't really sure if her classmates would call her a villain or not. A few of them heard, but didn't really pay no mind to it. A lot of people were impressed with Izumi's quirk. They complimented her and said it was really powerful and such. Izumi had a small smile on her face. That it was one of the first times that she wasn't really seen as a villain because only a few people haven't really called her a villain, which were the heroes and her mother. She was glad. They then arrived at the USJ to be greeted by the Pro Hero 13. She then explained how dangerous quirks can be if not used properly. And she also began explaining what the USJ is all about. But then a huge purple portal that was pretty misty appeared in the middle of the USJ. Then a lot of villains came out. A lot of villains. It was actually it was really big. It was like an army of villains. Kirishima then saw this and said, "Whoa! They have fake villains here too? That's so manly." 13 and Aizawa looked back and see hundreds of villains waiting for them. Aizawa then told 13 to keep the students safe and try to contact the heroes. 13 obliged, but all can she do for now is save this and try to protect the students because they can't contact some heroes because something busted the USJ's communication system. They came up to the conclusion that they can't really go on anywhere. So yeah. Then Aizawa got ready to prepare for battle. Izumi then asked Aizawa if she would be okay. Aizawa then ignored her and just went on. Aizawa then Izumi then clenched her fist and knew that she had to do something, so she jumped down with Aizawa without his permission and began fighting the villains along with him. Since she used some taekwondo, because sorry, that was in another one. Sorry, that's another one. That was another what if, which was what I got the Byakugan, sorry. Izumi then started to use her quirk on the villains. She gave them never-ending nightmares. Some of them had never-ending nightmares, some of them were trapped in energy orbs, some of them got injured. Basically, they can't even land a hit on her. It's like she's untouchable. And she kept on holding back the villains and helping Aizawa. She also covered for Aizawa and she also was defending herself until she saw a guy that's a weird looking guy that looks pretty misty, to be honest, tried to attack the students or her classmates and such. She then used her quirk to try to hold him back, which worked, but sorta. But the mist kinda sucked in her classmates too, and teleported some of them to certain areas, in which Izumi got mad and began to squish the villain, and the neck collar thing that Kurogiri was wearing was broken, and Kurogiri was let loose throughout the USJ, but was then captured in one of Izumi's energy balls or energy spears. Izumi then began helping Aizawa attacking the villains one by one. It was much faster because of Izumi's quirk and such. Shigaraki was getting impatient because this random girl was keep on taking out the villains, no problem. Enraged at this, Shigaraki then told the Nomu to attack and capture the girl because he thought that she would be useful for their plans because of her powerful quirk and such. The Nomu then screeched and ran at Izumi. Izumi saw this and hold back the Nomu. It was kind of like what she did to Thanos, you know. It's kind of like when she held back Thanos. She was releasing a lot of energy onto the Nomu. She was getting tired bit by bit, but still stayed her ground. She then told Aizawa that she couldn't hold him for much longer, and the weakness is the brain. I gave her a little bit of a bonus in checking memories, at least, because I think Scarlet can check memories, right? So yeah. Or checking memories is part of the mind reading thing. But whatever. You guys can correct me in the comments. Izumi then was pushed to the limit and was exceeding her limits now, because the Nomu was really strong and was trying to break free. Izumi then told Aizawa to hurry, and he called for Kirishima, the one with the hardening quirk, to try to cut off the Nomu's head, or at least damage the brain. Kirishima was a bit anxious because he hasn't really killed a villain before, and Kirishima froze up and Aizawa sighed. He then took Kirishima's already hardened arm and used it to cut off the Nomu's head, which did succeed and fell to the ground. Shigaraki was enraged at this, and Kurogiri told Shigaraki that it already had escaped to call the heroes. Shigaraki scratched his neck and told Kurogiri if he wasn't there taking away to escape, he would have killed him by now. Kurogiri, having the last of the energy he had warped himself and Shigaraki away. And if you're wondering, how did Kurogiri escape from the energy field or the energy spear? When Izumi was too focused on the villain, and that she didn't realize that she what was that? Yeah, she accidentally let out Kurogiri without knowing. So yeah. And also, shout out to these two wonderful people for suggesting Izumi's correct name to be called Chaos Magic. Here you go. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but thank you, Andrea Chappelle, for suggesting Chaos Magic and her hero name, and telling me that her hero name has to be Scarlet Witch. Don't worry, her hero name will definitely be Scarlet Witch. And also, thank you name for the Chaos Magic suggestion also. Even if it's a little bit different, but I'll accept it. So yeah, now let's get on with the video. By that time, Omen appeared with a frown on his face, but then turned to a smile, seeing as most of the kids were safe or just had minor injuries. They're now back at their 1-week break from the USJ, and they have time to recover and went back to the classroom. Aizawa then told them, or announced to them, that this may not be their last battle, and they have another battle coming soon, in which the students were a bit tense by this. And he then continued, saying that there will be a sports festival, which most of the students were surprised because it was a normal activity for once. At least. He then told them they only have at least a week or two to at least prepare. In which the students got really riled up, and when the bell rang, they came out for lunch. When Class 1A got out of their classroom, they were greeted with some glares of some other UA students. And a lot of other UA students, to be honest. There were a lot of them. Someone from Class 1A questioned why are there a lot of people here. Bakugo then answered that they're just scouting the competition and told them to go away extras, in which they don't really appreciate, and which someone say, so these are the infants of Class 1A that survived the villain attack. They don't look much to me. They just look like a bunch of ponies. Time skip. Izumi was preparing her quirk, or just practicing her quirk and trying to come up with some new moves and trying to make it stronger. And she's also trying to get her stamina up so that she won't get tired easily, or will last really long with using her quirk, which worked. So yeah, they're now at the Infinite UA Sports Festival. Izumi was then called up onto the podium to give a speech, because since she was first place in the entrance exams. Izumi then came up and made a speech. Since I'm pretty lazy in making a speech right now, she gave a speech about how anyone can be a hero if they could just train. Doesn't matter what the quirk is, or what the quirk is just from the heart. They can be heroes in many ways, even as small as helping a small child to as big as defeating a big bad villain. They can all be heroes in both big and little ways, in which everyone cheered and happy to hear that. She then stepped down to the podium to join the rest of her class. The R-rated hero Midnight then thanked Izumi for her wonderful speech and began to spin a wheel, which landed on a race. So yeah, they basically did a race. They prepared the grounds, and they opened the gates to reveal a lot of students and waiting to do the race and such. When Midnight said go, Todoroki then froze the whole track, and freezing a lot of the students also. Some broke free like Kirishima, Bakugo, Momo, Yairozu, and Izumi, and others. Izumi then used her quirk to fly in really fast heights, while Todoroki was laying on his ice and Bakugo following behind him with explosions. They first encountered the first obstacle, a bunch of zero-pointers and a bunch of other robots. Izumi then flew past the zero-pointer, and when the zero-pointer was about to catch her, Izumi then made it so that everyone couldn't really get past through. So she jumped up and, using an energy blast, like she did in the electric exam, she punched the robot, and the robot fell. And then she then speeds up so that she could win. She then encountered the tightrope, which was pretty easy for her, and so she just flew over. Todoroki was behind her by a couple of meters. And then the minefield, which was really simple, she just flew over it. And which leading her to first place. Midnight then announced, "In first place, we have Izumi Midoriya from Class 1A. The crowd then cheered. And was pretty happy, was pretty disappointed about the other two obstacles, but was pretty intrigued by the sheer power she had shown in the robot in the first obstacle. Izumi was very happy, and all the others passed by like in canon. Midnight then spinned the wheel again to reveal a cavalry battle. A lot of people, and the winner will have 10,000 points, and so on and so forth. A lot of people were glaring at Midoriya, and their eyes glow red, and her palms had the same red energy. She then told them to try. She then said, "Try me," in a threatening tone. Most of the students then just backed away. A few others didn't. Bakugo wanted to back away, but then snapped out of it to show this extra who rules, which is, he thought it was him, to be honest. He wanted to teach her a lesson from giving him PSD back then when they were little. So yeah. Izumi made up the same team that she had in canon: Uraraka, Tokuyami, and Mei Hatsume. Together they made the same strategy, in which Izumi will be the rider, and she'll help with defense along with Tokuyami. Uraraka will make them lighter so they could move easier and faster, with the help of Izumi's quirk, of course, so Uraraka doesn't have to puke or get sick that easily. Mihatsume, because of her gadgets, so they could speed through in any emergency. And they also and so that Mei could show her babies, which is her machines. In 3, 2, 1, let the battle begin. Everyone then charge. A lot of people then charged that Midoriya, in which they all flew up in a really fast rate. They then came down and began stealing a lot of people's headbands really quickly and easily because of Tokuyami's and Midoriya's efforts. At first they thought they were going for defense, but they realized that they were doing both. Midoriya had the perfect quirk for this, and they were pretty squared, to be honest. So they had no other choice than try to play defense, while Team Midoriya and a few others played offense. Izumi then noticed Todoroki was coming to get them, and she did the same trick that she did. Uraraka, Tokuyami, and Mei Hatsume then flew up in the sky really high and avoided Todoroki's iceberg or ice attack. Team Izumi decided it would be best for them to stay up in the sky until the timer runs out. And they did win. They won. They won with the most points, with 10 million plus points in that. And now, Midnight then announced it's time for the 1-1 battles. So that'll be it for today, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, this was Rally signing out. Goodbye. Have a great day or night. And yeah, bye.